I'd like each person in this room to close their eyes. Now, think back to when you were at school. Imagine sitting in a classroom and copying from the board, writing page after page. Now, open your eyes. How much information did you absorb? Or were you just mindlessly copying the board? Constructivists believe that learning is an active, constructive process whereby learners construct their own understanding and knowledge. Good evening, fellow teachers and colleagues. My name is Maria Tran, and today we're going to be talking to you about constructivism. Firstly, I would like to go through my own personal values and beliefs about teaching and learning, and the values and contexts that influence these beliefs. I believe the skills taught at school remain with students for life. For example, during primary school, my teachers taught me a little trick to remember how many days were each month, using your left hand and the knuckles. Another example is using the rule I before E except after C. These little tips stuck with me for life, as it made memorizing facts much easier by relating them to practical applications as well as using mnemonics. I believe that going to school doesn't have to seem boring. I really strongly believe that teachers possess great influence when it comes to motivating students and showing them that learning can be fun. I believe in giving students an explanation as to why things are the way they are. I believe that when you give background information to students, that really helps them understand and grasp the concepts that you're explaining much better and for it to stick much easier. For example, when I was in high school, I did business studies, and at the time we were doing a case study on IKEA. And our teacher told us that IKEA purposefully make their store out so that it's like a maze. So people would spend more time in the store and therefore buy more products. At the time, I didn't really understand the point of telling us this, but now I realize that it really has stuck with me through many years, and that just goes to show that giving background knowledge to students really helps make things stick better. I strongly believe that every child has great potential, and it's really up to the teacher to motivate them and encourage them and help them find their true potential. I believe in forming positive relationships with my students and creating a positive environment in the classroom where they feel comfortable and they feel safe. First of all, we must note that constructivism is a branch of the cognitive theory, therefore a lot of the key features kind of overlap. Constructivists believe that students participate actively rather than passively. They learn by doing. Constructivists believe on drawing on past knowledge and experiences, using prior knowledge to help build bridges between new concepts really helps the student understand the concepts that you are teaching, and it really makes them aware of their own strengths and weaknesses by drawing on these past experiences and relating them back to what they're learning currently. Learning is reinforced through social interactions, and this can be seen through Vygotski's theory of social cultural learning. Vygotsky believed that learning through interacting with peers and other knowledgeable others really helps students to understand concepts better, as they are bouncing ideas off each other and learning something that they wouldn't have realized themselves. The teacher, rather than being the source of knowledge, helps and guides students to discover that knowledge. The strengths of constructivism include proactive students, as they are encouraged to really take control of their learning. Making links between prior knowledge and new knowledge, it really helps them understand and build bridges between the two. It assists in developing higher order thinking skills, as it really makes students think deeply about the theory and the concepts that they are learning. But the skills learned through constructivism really do help with the real world, as you are collaborating with other students and picking up skills that you generally wouldn't have learned if you were just copying notes from the board. We as teachers really get the opportunity to make positive relationships with our students within the classroom, so that we know where each student is really at with their learning. Developing social interaction skills is another strength of this approach. However, a limitation to this theory is that it is very time consuming, and it takes a lot of resources to set up these activities and monitor them. Less confident students may feel frustrated, as the teacher isn't providing all the answers, and they really are required to think for themselves. Although group work does promote collaboration and teamwork, there are a few odd students that don't really work well in teamwork and can be easily distracted. An application of this theory in the classroom would be through learner-centered approaches such as discovery learning. This is where students are really encouraged to discover facts and learn new concepts by building bridges between what they know and what they don't know. This approach really enables students to understand and grasp the ideas for themselves, as they are the ones personally doing the learning for themselves. This learning approach really does follow my personal beliefs about teaching and learning, as I really believe that students really can understand and grasp concepts better when they are the ones that are actively participating in their learning rather than passively. I would definitely implement the guided discovery learning approach rather than the open discovery learning approach, as I believe in giving instructions and guidance to students before leaving them to go off on their own. Students are really given the opportunity to develop their social and cognitive skills through group work. Students really learn the value of teamwork and bouncing ideas off each other. They are really given the opportunity to reflect on their previous knowledge and relate this back to the new knowledge that they have yet to learn. Reciprocal teaching is another method where it assists learners in developing expertise. It is definitely a theory that I would want to implement into my classroom, as it draws upon Bloom's taxonomy. This gives students the opportunity to practice important skills such as predicting, questioning, summarizing and clarifying. This approach follows my teaching values and beliefs, as it really gives students the opportunity to develop analytical and critical thinking skills that can be applied to everyday life. To conclude, the constructivist theory is really a theory that I believe coincides with my personal beliefs and values about teaching and learning. It really makes them be active in their learning process instead of just passively listening and not really absorbing anything. Thank you for being here today, and I hope everyone learns a thing or two and maybe would think about applying this theory to their own classroom as well. Thank you.